All right, we're gonna move on. Stick in the yo bracket. We're gonna go the motorbike and 18-wheeler chase from Terminator 2 versus Speed, and it's where we have Keanu Reeves' character gets shot underneath on the essentially car work slider thing where you slide underneath the car to
Yeah,
do work in it. He's trying to defuse the bomb and it's being held by a truck as the bus is
yeah,
still going
uh,
over 50 miles per hour.
like a mechanic trolley
Yes, it's a
thing.
mechanic's trolley essentially.
I don't know what the fuck to call it.
I gotta look up the exact term for that. Again, Speed was a difficult one for us because there's so many great individual moments in
Yes,
Speed that you're like, what do you
that
pick?
that is going to be my explanation of why I made my choice.
Okay.
So I went 7-3 in favor of Terminator,
Okay.
and it's purely because I thought Terminator 2 was much more of a full action sequence, whereas Speed is very much like a high adrenaline moment in a movie that is almost all action.
Yeah, Speed is the archetype or the prototype to Mad Max Fury Road,
Yes, yes, very true.
where Speed has more breaks to give you character moments. Fury Road is just characters in the action as
Yes.
well. But that's the prototype. That's the blueprint. I went 6-4 Speed. I'm sorry,
Oh,
6-4.
okay.
I went 6-4 Terminator 2. So Terminator 2 is going to
Oh,
get the
okay.
victory. I had a similar thought process where I enjoy Speed more than I do Terminator 2. I think Terminator
So,
2 is
so do I.
slightly overrated. I think it's great. I don't want to say it's
Yeah.
bad. I don't want anyone to take that from me, but Terminator 2 always gets this thing of like greatest sequel of all time. And it's like, first of
Oh,
all,
I definitely wouldn't agree with
I was
that.
like,
No.
first of all, Empire Strikes Back exists, Dark Knight exists. We're not even in the same ballpark.
Temple of Doom exists.
I think Terminator 2 is probably a better sequel to
The Mummy
Terminator than.
Returns exists.
Oh God, you and your mummy truthing. Um, but
I'm just
again,
kidding. The Mummy Returns is only decently good.
I was gonna say it's not the original for you, right?
Oh no. I mean, nothing beats the original. It's
Also, we need to take a quick time out. When do you want to cover the mummy? Because I know we're gonna cover it eventually on this show.
I don't know if it can be considered anything. It's not cult classic.
I mean, here's the thing: we can just go into rewatchable mode and just be like, "Hey, we just love this movie. We're gonna watch it."
When's the last time you saw it?
The original Mummy.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's been at least 15 to 20 years. I want to say.
Okay. I'll force you to rewatch it then. That'll be fun.
Maybe that's what we'll do for family movie night. You'll have us watch The Mummy, and then we'll watch Sleepaway Camp, and that'll be our double feature for the night. But getting back into our tournament here, again, I think Speed. It's a great moment. I think we even couldn't agree on what we would do because I argued for the bus jump in Speed,
Hmm.
and we eventually came to the conclusion that on the mechanic trolley was the better option. The reason I gave it such a close score of 6-4 is when you are judging something, you inherently have to look for critical moments. I don't think there's anything wrong with the Speed scene. What I think is going to take Terminator 2 out of the running for me later is there are a few obvious shots where there is a stunt double in the scene.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And that's the issue. And I understand
I
it's being made in 1990 for a 1991 release, and ILM is just learning how to do the digital mapping and other things like that. So
Yeah, the facial replacement.
I
Yeah.
don't want to take that away, but it's almost as if Cameron wanted the spectacle so much that he gave up part of the reality in trying to give you a realistic scene. It was very strange, the dynamic for him.
Who, wait, who are you talking about specifically?
Well, so there's two or three shots where there is clearly an adult riding Edward Furlong's bike.
Yes, those are the ones that I was like, okay, that's just funny because like it is clearly an adult.
And
The
I'm not.
Edward Furlong is like hilariously like so clearly a teenager or a young teenager.
Yeah.
And then it's like clearly a guy in his mid-20s. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
And so those took me out. And also, there's a couple with Arnold as well. Like the big one where he's driving the motorcycle off into the ravine as well. It's so clearly a stunt double. And the end of the scene, they map it perfectly where Arnold's back on the bike so that
I
they
was
try to get away with it. But
I was expecting more of it though. I was actually pleasantly surprised that he was actually riding the bike for most of it.
and then at the same time, when he grabs John off his motorbike and puts him onto the motorcycle with him, it's so clear that they're both doubles. that
Oh,
it,
I didn't notice that.
it took me out. Where you can see it's clearly not Arnold. I mean, Arnold has one of the most recognizable faces in human history. So,
Yes.
and it's just because of how iconic Arnold is. There's a reason one of our brackets is named after Arnold, right? So that was the tough part for me there. Everything that's happening is incredible, and it's great work, and you can see the interplay of the three characters all trying to get their own motivations. Where you can see desperation on John Connor. You can see the determination of both the T1000 and the T600. And you can see both have this icy demeanor, but there's just something about Robert Patrick's that is given the sinister, where there's something about Arnold's where you just go, I think he's trying to help this time. Because especially during the movie, you don't know that the T600 is there to help yet. So, and that's kind of the reveal.
I think it's the T800.
Oh, sorry, T800. My apologies.
Just making sure.
Yeah, so it is the T800. Thank you. So you still don't know that, which is why the setup scene in the hallway is so great, because you see John Connor sees the Terminator and he's like, "Oh, I'm fucked." Arnold's Terminator, and then Arnold's Terminator just blows the T1000 away, and you're like, "Wait, what? Oh, he's here to help?
Yeah.
Okay, we get to root for him now. That's cool." But at the same time, it's so obviously done where you fully understand the scene really well. The scene mapping's incredible. So that's why I gave it to Terminator 2 in the end, even though more than any other scene except maybe one, this was the one that had the most danger of losing because it took me out of the scene. How many times I noticed, I'm like, well, that's an obvious double. And I'm not expecting them to strap a 12-year-old kid into these scenes and just be like, well, we can do the stunts with him. I'm not expecting that. So it was more of the stuff with Arnold where I'm like, can we just fucking make this work a little bit better, guys? Like, show it from the side, show it from an angle, show it from something so you could clearly see it's not someone not Arnold, or it's clearly someone doing this that could be Arnold. But we're gonna go Terminator on that one. You said 7-3. I said 6-4. So Terminator 2 with the victory with a 13-7.